Hi, this is Heather Fury, and this is my special ed interview. When talking about child find procedures, and I spoke to my administrator, she indicated that basically teacher recommendations and parent requests were what they utilized for these procedures. When I spoke to the special ed teacher, he indicated content testing. They look at content testing to decide whether they need to have the student evaluated. One of the tests they use is KTEA, and he mentioned that. When I spoke to the paraprofessional, she indicated that KTEA was a test that they implemented to figure out where the students are and what level and what kinds of services they needed. I just want to preface the rest of this by saying, I didn't have a lot of time to speak with my administrator and special ed teacher, just because this is the end of the year for us and everybody is doing finals, getting ready for graduation. We have 1,500 students we're preparing for graduation. Okay, so the next part, challenging part of your role. My principal felt the child study team is a challenging part of this role. She said that, they have their own ideas of how things are going to work due to their policies and procedures that they need to follow, and they're not willing to think of the other side. What's the principal's role in this? What's going on in the school? How can we work this out to get what's needed the way the school runs? There's a lot of discrepancies between what the child study team wants and what the school has available at times. She said agreement is never easy with them when it comes to these evaluations and placements. So she wishes they would be a little more open-minded to listening to the other side of things. The teacher felt the ability to adapt instruction was difficult at times when you have different kids with different abilities. Differentiated learning is something they try to do in the class, but it is difficult at times when you can have a class of 10 kids with 10 different abilities. Paraprofessional also indicated learning style and of the students that, again, that they may have different learning styles, each student, and she has to be there for each one and understand it. Modifying the work is challenging when you have these students that are of different disabilities, and knowing the full IEP and how to follow it. What's most rewarding? I think we all believe this, but the principal said the success of the students, seeing them move from placement, seeing them graduate. She said, you got to understand that each one's a case by case. And when you understand each case and are able to be involved, it's rewarding to see them make achievements. She said it was a little difficult to answer this question because of that, because each child's a case by case. But mainly, success, when she sees successes, in their abilities, and of course graduation. The teacher, the appreciation factor, and the internal gratification that gives them is what's most rewarding, he said. He said a lot of times he gets a lot more appreciation from the students in special ed classes than when he was in regular ed classes. The paraprofessional said graduation. When she sees the kid graduating, she knows that, they made it, they succeeded, they got to where they needed to be. And a lot of times when the parents say thank you. Advice for supervision of special ed staff. My principal indicated professional development. That's a must. They need to be given more professional development, and they need to seek their own professional development. They need to know their students, understand that it's a case by case. Each one has different abilities, and they need to understand that and how to implement the proper services. Communication, of course, is important between all the staff, and to understand that there's a story for each child. Like I just stated, a case by case, that the story for one child may be totally different than the story from the other child, and understanding that story helps them implement services and academics to the benefit of the child. Looking at those demographics, that they're coming from, whether it's socioeconomic graphics or ethnicity, plays a big factor in our school due to the high Hispanic students that we have, and a lot of their parents are bilingual or only speak Spanish, and the child is bilingual. So there's a lot of different scenarios there to look at. The teacher felt that the essential staff, that all these staff needs to work together, the OT, the PT, the speech pathologist, that they're all essential and they all are part of this program and need to work together. The paraprofessional, again, she said that she felt that she wanted to be treated equally, that the supervision of the staff should be that they're observed as well, not just the teacher, that they want to learn and being observed would be beneficial to them. Working with parents, the principal felt that communication is definitely the main way of working with the parents. They want validation, the parents. So, the administrator needs to be able to validate their concerns and let the parents know that they're working on getting what their child needs and that they're here for the child. And also follow up, don't just get what this child needs and then that's it. Follow up with the parents, follow up with the students, be involved. The teacher felt collaboration and adapting strategies for the parents to understand not only for school but at home. And, just that continued collaboration of academic help and letting the parents know that they're there helps when the child goes home to not only benefit them academically at home, but then it transfers back to the classroom. The paraprofessional indicated there's no communication between her and the parents due to that it's not allowed. The only time that she can speak with the parents is if a teacher is there. Regular ed teachers and special ed teachers. My principal said they don't work enough together with each other, which I definitely say it's kind of like special ed's their own department, regular ed's their own department. They need to seek information about each other and how to adapt strategies for both. When some of the special ed kids go into the regular ed classrooms, the regular ed teachers don't know how to adapt to their needs. So they do need to work more together. Her questions were like, what are you doing? How are you helping these kids? What strategies are you using in the classroom? Share it, collaborate together so that you're both on the same page. The teacher also indicated collaboration. There needs to be more of that between the two and being able to modify for the regular ed teachers to help them out and with the students who may not be exactly on the academic performance level of the kids within their classroom. The paraprofessional said her main dealing with regular ed teachers is communication, dealing with lateness to class or dress code. She feels that that's mainly the only type of communication she has with the regular ed teachers is when, they're complaining about one of those two things. Advice for a first-year administrator. My principal said that it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which I believe wholeheartedly because she is sending emails at 3 o'clock in the morning to us. Weekends, night stays, she's always working. She said, document everything. Make sure you have validation of everything you do, everything that comes through your office, for backing, for whether it's legal purposes, or anything else. Make sure that communication's in abundance, within the administration and in the school, with parents, staff, students, everybody. And be prepared. Be prepared to be screamed at. Be prepared to have legal actions threatened against you and be put against you in the school. Don't let those things frighten you off. It happens to everyone, she said. And she said, read everything. Don't let things go to the wayside. Make sure that you're reading your emails, you're reading the papers that are coming across your desk. As far as the teacher, they said take some self-time, which after hearing the principal's side, I don't know if there is going to be much self-time. Be patient with the staff, understand that new administration is a change for them as well as you, and experiment, think outside the box. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone either and experiment with new ideas that maybe end up being very beneficial to the school. Support us and, give some feedback. Don't just observe and not say things. Give us feedback, whether good or bad. Paraprofessional said that she wanted them to treat everybody equally. She wanted to be treated equally. She helps the students just as well as the teacher in a different capacity, but she's still doing a job to benefit these students. The role of the special ed teacher and principal. My principal didn't know quite what was wanted of information between these two. I tried to explain it to her the best that I could, but she said that, they need to lead each other. They need to communicate to each other and trust that each other's the professional that they were hired to be. The teacher felt that they wanted to see the principal back them with discipline, support the programs that they are utilizing and possibly developing, and be open with communication. Don't leave them out of the loop. The paraprofessional said to basically the same thing: be supportive to both the teachers, the staff, and the students, for both of them to utilize the paraprofessional for what she's there for, and to support her in her goals to help them. Characteristics do you seek of an aspiring administrator? I loved hearing this from my principal. She said that she wants a humble person, someone that has a heart, thinks not just about themselves, about everyone, is involved, is willing to be involved as much as possible, because this job is a very demanding job, is passionate about what they do, is passionate about the kids, the school, and just, developing the best academic program and school possible, open to new ideas, and willing to also step out of that box and try new things, but yet have those leadership skills that are needed to run a school and to put the kids first, which I think as a teacher, I think that's what we all do. We all try to put the kids first. I know it can be hard at times, but I think that's the main goal of being in the educational profession, is putting the kids first and trying to get them to do great things. The teacher said that they want to see an administrator that is familiar with policies and laws, knows things accurately, doesn't have to refer back to other people when it becomes like a domino effect. It goes to one person, the next person, the other, but they never get real good feedback on what exactly the policy and law is. Have an open door policy where they could come in and talk when needed about whatever it may be. Give constructive feedback, or just provide feedback in general, whether it's good or bad. It's still helping them to become the better teacher that they need to be. Be supportive of their academics and their students and what they're doing within the classroom, and acknowledge when they do some things good in the classroom, inspire them. The paraprofessional said that she wants to see an administrator that's more involved, not behind closed doors. Come spend some time in the special ed classroom. Don't just do a walkthrough. Spend some time. Get down and dirty, she said. Hang out with us. See what it's like in here on a day-to-day basis, not just on a 20-minute walkthrough. And honestly, I couldn't agree with her more. As an administrator, I hope to be that way. I want to be in the classroom. I want to see what's going on. I want to be there for the teachers. So that's my Module 3. Thank you for listening.